Hi guys, my name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with SuccessfulBlackWoman.com. I'm here with my good friend Shaquita Graham with ATECCOWeb.com. How are you doing today, Shaquita?
I'm doing really good, Noma.
I'm doing great. You and I were just kind of discussing a few things before the segment, and my full disclosure is that I'm not a sports fan, not really basketball. Unless I'm playing, I'm not watching. But we do have a hot topic today about Kevin Durant, and you brought it up, and you actually had a video to share with it. So if you could just first tell us what the story is, and then we'll go to the video.
Well, those who do follow sports a little bit, and I'm one of those people, we all know that Kevin Durant went from Oklahoma City Thunder. He traded over to the Golden State Warriors, who were fierce contenders with the Cleveland Cavaliers for the championship this year. And many people feel that now with Kevin Durant joining the Warriors, they are a shoo-in for the championship next year. However, there are some Oklahoma City fans who seem to feel that they own Kevin Durant. As usual, we're seeing a lot of what people call white backlash right now, whether it's from Jesse Williams' speech to Kevin Durant to anything that Black people have seemed to try to do to advance themselves or advance causes that are important to them. So we have a video on that. Noma, you want me to go ahead and kind of show you it?
Yeah, please play the video.
Yeah, okay. So we have one fan here. Atlanta Black Star actually did a really great article on this. And this is one of the videos that they had posted.
We're here in Oklahoma City at the house of Kevin Durant. Today was a sad day for the city. We've loved and appreciated this athlete like no other. We've welcomed him into our city. We've given him the privacy that no other superstar could ever ask for in this world. We've given him the love. We've given him a team and teammates that no other player of his caliber will ever appreciate or could have again. This organization has done everything for you, Kevin Durant. The one thing we couldn't give you is a heart of a champion. One thing we couldn't give you is a set of balls. So you're gone, KD. And with that, we wish you goodbye. We don't burn your jerseys. We just leave them on your doorstep. You're up 3-1 in a series you could have closed out, but you choked. You have no heart of a champion. Goodbye, KD.
All right, so we see this, and like I said, Atlanta Black Star did this article. Do white fans think they own Kevin Durant? And there's a lot more to talk about on this, Noma, so I'll let you get started. Tell us, what do you think?
So a few things, okay? I made a few observations. So they changed his for sale by owner sign to for sale by coward. And then when I was listening to this man talk, he kept saying, we gave you this, we gave you that, and we gave you that, which is interesting because it seems to imply that if they didn't quote unquote give him these things, he would not have them. But this man is in that position and earns the money that he does because of his talent and his skill. But somehow this random guy has taken ownership of him. The only thing that I can see that implies that he could own Kevin is the color of Kevin's skin and his own skin. Otherwise, why would any human being take it so personally that somebody is doing what's best for them and their family, and they ought to do that? And then take it so personally that he calls him a coward, tells him all the things that he gave him, which implies that he didn't even, he may not have even deserved those things, but thank God Massa had some, compassion and gave you these things. So I don't have any other conclusion to draw except that. What do you think?
I of course agree. There's no other conclusion to draw, especially when you lump it in with all of the other antics surrounding this. There's another video of a white man taking Kevin Durant, he's in the backwoods somewhere, taking Kevin Durant's jersey, pouring gasoline on it, setting it on fire. Then him and two other white men use shotguns to shoot rounds of ammunition at his jersey. And again, all of this is kind of alluding back to the idea of when Black people start to achieve things or advance, they were burned and lynched. Their businesses burned down. They were attacked, because I have never seen a white athlete attacked for changing teams or making any kind of business decision. I've never seen that. And so I have to come to the same conclusion. And even in this wonderful article done at Atlanta Black Star, they go into how Brian Gumbel characterized the NBA's business model as a plantation with the role of master presiding over Black athletes. So it definitely sounds familiar, and it's happened over and over again.
Absolutely. And I've seen these pictures that sometimes go and they draw a parallel between during the times when Black people were owned as slaves in this country, and a group of slaves would arrive at the place where they were going to be sold or auctioned or whatever it was, and they would be lined up, inspected, and their value would be assessed. And then you cut to today where you have athletes with the same thing, where they kind of lined up, half naked as well. And they're also assessed and, sold across teams and so on. So, I mean, I don't fault anybody for taking their gifts and talents and using them the way that athletes do to feed their families. But I think that it needs to be observed that sometimes some of these things are still being perpetuated, just in a different way, just in the same way that you might have seen, or everybody knows that slavery took place in this country, and then it's so-called quote unquote stopped, which I don't think it did. But then we have mass incarceration, and it's the same kind of thing where people are working tirelessly for little or no pay, and they have no choice about it. So you kind of always have to be mindful of these, these continuations of things that were bad and just taking a different form and then reappearing in a different way. So if you kind of look at it that way, we shouldn't be that shocked about this guy's behavior, his thoughts, and his entitlement, because he actually feels like this guy should be doing what he wants and was there to serve him and nothing else.
Exactly. And, just to kind of follow up on that, as far as the white rage we've seen in the past when Black people try to advance, I read an article recently that said 90% of the people who were lynched and burned at the time when lynching, like the old form of lynching, because I believe lynching still goes on today, where 90% of those people were business owners. And in this article, at Atlanta Black Star, Dr. Carol Anderson alludes to her book, White Rage, or they allude to her book, White Rage, The Unspoken Truth of Our Racial Divide, where it says the trigger for white rage inevitably is Black advancement. It is not the mere presence of Black people that is the problem. Rather, it is Blackness with ambition, with drive, with purpose, with aspirations, and with demands for full and equal citizenship. So I think the takeaway here for me is that as you strive to advance and grow, expect and prepare for backlash. So many people are surprised. Like you said, don't be surprised. Don't be saddened. Don't be shocked. And above all, don't be afraid. And continue to be prepared for backlash by, building your own empire and our own institutions to protect ourselves, like we see with the whole Shonda Rhimes thing and Jesse Williams. You have a Black woman who is in a position to make a decision about a Black man who is standing up for the Black community, and she decides to dispel all of the lies about him, quote unquote, being a racist. So
Absolutely. I, of course, agree with you. You know, I always say that I sound like a broken record, but to me, a lot of times it always shows me that, again, I don't fault anybody for doing what they need to do to feed their family or to feed themselves and
Absolutely.
so on. But I can remember times when I was, you know, working and had a job. And it does take on that thing where a person feels like they actually have ownership of you, where
Mm-hmm.
you go into, you know, your boss's office and you say, you know, I have this emergency or I have this life event or whatever it is, and I need to go take care of it. And they will say, oh, no, you know, we're busy this week or the next week or whatever it is. So no, sorry, you can't do that. And I know a lot of people go through that, and you know, you've made the commitment, they pay you, you do the work and so on. But to me, that has always been like something that I just I couldn't deal with that. I used to think to myself, how did I build a life where somebody else's family and somebody else's bottom line has become more important than the things that I say are the most important, more important than my family, more important than my circumstances, more important than my needs. And that's part of the reason why I just couldn't take any more of having to ask somebody for permission to do things that affect me and my life and my family. And it's the same thing here. You're seeing him wanting to do something that benefits him. Obviously, if he's going from one team to the other, he sees it as something that will be better for him, his family, his circumstances. Somebody else is saying, no, don't do what's best for you. We're going to call you, what did he say, a coward?
Power.
You have no heart. You have no heart. In other words, you need to go and do what I need you to do. Fight the fight that I want you to fight. And if you don't, that means you're a coward. I would say that he was a coward if he didn't stand up for what he thought was best for him and do what's best for him. But look at how they're trying to turn the tables and say that you're a coward for doing the right thing.
Yeah, and I mean, we have to understand, and this is what people really kind of don't get, is that suspected white supremacists will always try to belittle our abilities, our efforts, and squash any attempt on our part to grow and be independent from the system of white supremacy. And our obligation is to continue to fight against that by dreaming big, going ahead and thinking outside of the box, building independently on our own. You know, that's why I have atekoweb.com, where we're talking about ways to leverage technology in your business, in your career. If you're an entrepreneur looking to invest in something, we have to continue to just keep moving ahead and not be deterred, be steadfast in our quest to be free of white supremacy. And these are all efforts to try to stop us and discourage us, make us feel afraid. And, you know, we just should not fall for it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Just in spite of the pushback or whatever, you have to just keep pushing. But to kind of elaborate on what you were talking about, before we go, I just want to remind our viewers that we're still building our community, which is marriedwomensbusiness.com. For those of you that don't know, this is a project that Shaquita Graham and I are working on. It's called Married Women's Business. It's basically a platform for women who actually are like us. They're married, they care about their families, they care about their kids, and they want to build financial independence. So it's marriedwomensbusiness.com. If you haven't already, go ahead and throw your email in there and we'll keep you updated when we launch. I also want to remind our readers that I'm giving away a free ebook, a copy of my ebook. You just have to go to nomaspeaks.com and you get a copy of my ebook. Again, it's nomaspeaks.com and it's a free ebook. So I want to say thank you to my good friend Shaquita for joining me in this very important conversation. Say thank you to our viewers once again. So again, this is Shaquita Graham with atekoweb.com. I'm Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with successfulblackwoman.com. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.